Alrighty. Hello. Welcome to yet another edition of I'm Bored and therefore casting some casual Hearthstone. This time I'm bringing you, what am I bringing you? I'm bringing you Wesley Hsieh versus Shotkin. And my deck listing does not appear to be working anymore. That's unfortunate. Oh well. I'll figure that out later. This is gonna be, as usual, a very low production quality stream because, well, I'm lazy. And also I have some matches to play later today and don't want to spend too much effort setting up the streams. But let's see if I can bring... Alrighty, so we see the LA County Zoo, the Zoo Lock from Wesley versus, what is it, Dragon Priest from, Aaron. I believe this is combo Dragon Priest, pretty sure. Let me just adjust some of these overlays real quick.
Must consider.
We're bugged. Gotta love the small indie dev and their spectator client. Let's try this again. In the meantime, let's see if I can't get the deck list to show for Aaron.
Must consider.
Nope, probably not. Oh well. But bringing up the deck list, I can confirm this is in fact combo Dragon Priest. Gonna do a bit more work to try to restore the deck list. This will work.
Medicine insects.
And not take up the entire screen. But turn 4 Duskbreaker is brutal as usual against an aggro deck. Toggle this off real quick. Yeah, so as you guys can tell, I'm really good at this observing thing. Totally do this all the time. Never had technical difficulties, Kappa. What could go wrong? Alright, that's somewhat better. Shrink this down to a reasonable size. And yeah. Yeah, so there's an interesting zoo list from Wesley because we see that it has neither the full demon package, so we don't see stuff like Blood Fury Potion or Demon Fire, but it's also not running Prince Kelesat, just running a bunch of value mid-sized minions, double acidic Swampus, I'm assuming, to counter stuff like Atiesh and Skull of the Manari, and it aims just to tempo out. Meanwhile, Aaron's running what's pretty standard combo Dragon Priest, very strong deck. I've seen him play it to great success in the past. But the main weakness of this deck, if one exists, is that its main AoE is Duskbreaker and only Duskbreaker. And we see that Aaron's already spent one Duskbreaker this game.
I wonder.
On the other hand, Wesley has sort of an awkward hand right now because he really wants to play an on-curve Doomguard. It's such a strong play, but he doesn't want to risk discarding Blood Reaver Duodan. Instead, he's opting to tap, which is a little risky just because falling behind on board against combo dragons is sort of a death sentence. So we'll see how he manages this complex situation. And the standard Soulfire discarding Doomguard. I feel like that happens every time. Should take some consolation that Godan's still alive, but that's always rough. They're probably going to see a Despicable Dreadlord. Yep. And next turn with 7 mana, he can just Divine, Inner Fire, and Lethal. He's 1 mana short from being able to do Talon Priest and all of the above, which means with the counter Despicable, Now 7 mana lets him heal Divine Inner Fire. That is lethal. Looks like we are going to see unless is he gonna play the Voidwalker? Come on, Wesley. Nope, Wesley does not play the Voidwalker, and it looks like we are going to see game 1 wrap up right now. Come on, Aaron, you spot this, right? Yeah, he knows. Double, face for 20. And that is how combo wins games. And so that is going to be Aaron 1-0 Wesley. And yeah. Just casually asking Aaron for bans because for those of you who aren't familiar, this is a format where it's best of 5 where each player brings 4 decks and then bans 1. And so we're going to see a Warlock ban from Wesley, so that's Aaron's control Warlock, and then Aaron banning the Tempo Mage. And so he mentioned this when I was chatting to him about this series last night, that he didn't think he could beat Tempo Mage. So now we see the Dude Paladin come out for Wesley, and this is the list. There's a reasonable start for the priest, just because Dude Paladin doesn't really want to play any of his early drops into Northshires. But on the other hand, you really want to see a Duskbreaker if you're Wesley as quickly as possible. Or not if you're Wesley, if you're Aaron as quickly as possible. And right on cue, there is the Duskbreaker. Sorry about the sniffling, I'm tiny bit congested. I had a cold earlier this week.
Back to your homes.
Gonna see Coin Steward of Darkshire. It's a fairly strong body that can test the board, but we might see Twilight Acolyte here just to lower it into not killing Northshire's range, but nope. Looks like Aaron's gonna play a little greedy, opt to draw some. He knows he has Duskbreaker in the pocket. Although, the Divine Shields that are going to spawn out of this are going to be a little scary if he chooses to do so. He might just go with the Direwolf Alpha so he can clean out the larger Northshire. Right, Direwolf and then 2 recruits, yeah. This is fairly strong. Not Wesley, Aaron can clear out most of this with a Duskbreaker. But we see that Wesley has Call to Arms to refill right afterwards. So Aaron's definitely not out of the woods just yet. And from my experience, Paladin tends to be fairly favored against combo Dragon Priest, just because combo only has 2 board clears and the Duskbreakers, and you can sort of just run them over. Oh, that doesn't work like you think it does, Aaron. Unless he was expecting that. Mass Dispel is a really good draw here. It can counter some of the crazy, like, not evolve, adapt shenanigans that can come from Lightfuse Stegodon, but we're gonna see are we gonna see Call to Arms drop? Oh, that's dangerous. I'm always a little scared to play Call to Arms against a priest until I've seen the first Duskbreaker, just because that card is so bleeding strong. And oh, this is brutal. We're gonna see this board just get eviscerated. No hesitation from Aaron. Mass Dispel, he's really trying to, oh my god, he pulls the second Duskbreaker. He's really trying to milk this for all he's got. I'm not sure about that, just because this is a reasonable amount of damage to be taking to face. I'm not sure if you want to, but he is going to have a very strong Duskbreaker this turn. Unfortunately, the Crystal line with Divine Shield is going to be able to tank the AoE. We do see Duskbreaker comes down, followed by Netherspite Historian. On second thought, I think I do understand Aaron's plan. He's sort of saving Duskbreaker for a Brutal Tarim turn too. So I can definitely get behind that.
But we fight. The light protects me. The light protects me.
Reporting for duty.
It's sort of crazy how well Dude Paladin is able to refill over and over and over. Potion of Madness is a reasonably good draw, because you can Duskbreaker and then use Potion to clear off the last 2 minions. He opts to instead drop the Heart Creeper. Sacred Maw It's always Sacred Maw, it's always the worst Maw. We're probably just gonna see Sunkeeper Tarim come down for Wesley. He's in a pretty brutal situation right now, where Priest has mostly stabilized. Wesley here really wants to draw either Divine Favor, which he's running 2 of, or his second Call to Arms. Those are definitely the strongest come from behind cards in this deck. Meanwhile, Aaron's just trying to survive long enough so I can drop a high health minion, like, I guess, Scaled Nightmare, and start pounding in damage to face, well, or combo out and win the game
What
immediately.
would Uther do?
Is Wesley really considering the Sacred Maw? Man, that's a really rough play. I would feel bad doing that, but Sacred Maw Consecration it is. Consecration, interestingly enough, is a 2-off in this new Paladin deck that we're seeing. That's fairly uncommon from my experience. I'm very used to seeing 1-off Consecration. It is very, very good in the mirror. Let's see, we're gonna see Aaron pick up, well, 1 of 3 cards thanks to Dr. OP. And I wonder, he does go for the Crystal line, which is the highest value. There's an argument to be made for Lost in Jungle, just as something that can essentially tank Tarim. Because we are almost definitely going to see Hero Power Tarim come down here. So one of my main problems with Unidentified Maw is that 2 is a lot worse than 3. And again, we see that where Rallying Blade would have been able to clear a minion, the Maw cannot. We do see that Wesley's only running 1 Unidentified Maw and 2 Rallying Blades, and so he's just a little unlucky. And that is an amazing Blessing of Kings pull from the Dragon the Operative. There's only 1 Blessing of Kings in this deck, and so with 14 or 15 cards left in the deck, that's pretty brutal. We do see Divine Favor, which is really strong. Interesting not to see Hero Power Stegodon Divine Favor just to get 1 adapt off, but he does play the Stegodon first to maximize his draws. Call to Arms is a great pickup off this. Lost in the Jungle is very strong, and he does pick up his second Stegodon and his second Divine Favor. That's very, very strong there. We see that he does 2 Stand Against Darknesses in this deck too, as further refill options. But how much damage does Aaron have? He has 12, 19, he's almost 20. He's almost there for the lethal. But from my experience in the past, I have seen... Oh, no, he definitely spots this lethal. Double, inner fire, and that's 2-0 off the back of this very, very strong deck. Aaron has been looking unstoppable lately. He was my pick to win this tournament after watching him 3-0 the Group of Death, and some really, really impressive matches. Aaron had his Warlock, and I needed to take that. Mage, and now Paladin is done. So what Wesley has remaining is his Jade Druid. I got to play against this in the group stage. It's a very strong deck. But Aaron has both Kingsbane Rogue and Dead Man's Hand Warrior in reserve, and both of them are very strong against Jade. So there's going to be a difficult reverse sweep for Wesley to pull off. Also, I realized that
The wild.
The light shall bring victory.
Alright, well, we'll see what Wesley is able to pull out and whether he gets any miracles to this Jade Druid deck. That is not the opening hand you want to see against Combo Priest. You definitely want Ramp. And on the other hand, we see a fairly so-so opener from the Priest. I'm very, very bad at Combo Dragon Priest despite attempting to play every now and then, so I'm not going to make any promises as to whether or not there's a good hand. We do see that Wesley picks up the Wild Growth, which is a very welcome draw here, and he's going to happily ramp up. So Wesley does recognize the dangerous potential of a Radiant Elemental, which is one of the scariest cards to face in this Priest deck. And never mind, I thought he was going to Wrath for 3 and Spellstone it. It looks like he's just opting to cycle the Wrath and potentially clear this with like a swipe next turn. We see Talon Priest come out. This Radiant Elemental is not gonna die anytime soon. And it's now a 7/7. So, Druid has always had difficulty dealing with large minions. We see that he doesn't run a Tech Naturalize or anything like that. And so he's gonna have quite a problem dealing with this Radiant Elemental, especially given that Priest can just keep healing it right up. And so, well, this is gonna be rough. I think Wesley right now might be thinking about swiping the Talon Priest, but that also feels really bad. He needs 2 more armor to upgrade his Spellstone, now 1 more. Which means next turn he still doesn't have swipe Spellstone. Well, he does, but he can't, it's only a 2 damage Spellstone.
Is someone injured?
And Aaron's just continuing to go ham. He's gonna draw more cards off the Radiant with the Northshire. Picks up Silence to get through some taunts, which Spreading Plague is almost definitely gonna come down to try to stabilize here for Wesley. And he does drop the first Spreading Plague. But we see that he can smash through one, silence. Oh wait, no, he has Mass Dispel, he can just keep one face. So we're probably gonna see Mass Dispel come down from Aaron. If he draws into the second Inner Fire, that's game. He does not yet. But nonetheless, he's just gonna very happily go face. And these Scarabs, Wesley's gonna have to suicide them all into the Radiant Elemental to get the second Spreading Plague down. But this is looking really, really, really grim. We see that next turn he can still Potion of Madness 1 Scarab, silence the second one, and just smash through a third one. And so I think we might be seeing a very quick 3-0 in dominant fashion from the Combo Priest from Aaron here. Yeah, the Spellstone is still 1 damage short from doing anything, and that's gonna be game if Aaron spots the lethal. Seems to be right on it. Yep, Potion of Madness. He probably considered this line last turn. And so this is a very obvious lethal for him. And that is going to be game. Brutal, brutal 3-0. And Wesley is going to go to the lower bracket where he'll be fighting against Daniel Rogoff. And that's a match that's going to come much later. Alright, so that sort of just sums it up. We're not going to have any matches for a while after this. So this tournament's a little more freeform than usual. There's no set schedule. And so it's just Wesley and Aaron could conveniently play early today. So I'm probably going to head off now and, I don't know, eat my breakfast I guess. Maybe play some Counter-Strike. And I'll be back later with more matches whenever I see more matches being played out, or whenever I need to play out my own match, because I am, for once, actually in the tournament, I guess. Totally expecting to drop out 03-03. This meta is not particularly kind to me, and I've been playing rather poorly lately. But we'll see how it goes. This is a very stacked tournament bracket, which you guys can't see at all. Let me try to bring that up real quick, just to give you guys a visual. Scene. Add window capture on the tournament bracket. Yeah, so as you guys can see, very brutal tournament bracket. Season 2 finalist Trung Lee's in the lower bracket, and if I lose my match against Chris Keelan, I'm going to be facing him. So that's going to be difficult. And then Sweep, Logan, Aaron, Ron, Aditya, they're all players that I've played against and lost against before. So there's... At first I was like, wow, I'm on the hard side of the bracket, but I realized there is no easy side of the bracket this time. This is going to be a very, very difficult slog to the finish. And, well, we'll see how that ends up. For now, I bid you farewell.